to you. Onyx and Olgrim, they have plenty of ways to be able to set up into something. You want to toss people into Wushang and then hopefully see what he can do. So game one, we're getting started. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get into it. And we are starting off with the Lance versus Cannon, too. I want to pay attention specifically to what that 1v1 looks like, but it's blue team right out the gates off stage.
That's right. Vortex trying to find a way to be able to land back down, looking for that end light. Not going to be able to fight it quite yet. Keith just going to be missing that side sig, coming back onto the stage here. Side knocking Vortex all the way out there. Going to be sweating. Plum not able to pick up that recovery.
That's right, that's right. Again, Himwy a little bit just precarious off stage right here. Has to spend the weapon toss, looking for a trade, but not going to get there. First strike going over to red.
Keith just going to be looking for that sidelight. Is able to go ahead and connect that side out. Vortex sidelight, double chase dodge just to be able to reposition and find himself on back nice and safe. Himwy able to get that end light. Both red team members going to be stuck off stage. They're helping each other out. They're saving each other, but that's not going to be enough quite yet. That's going to be one stock off of Wushang. Keith knocked all the way super deep off stage. You see Plum jumping back off with him just to be able to give him an opening to get back on.
Yeah, and I do love that coverage from Plum, right? Like, Keith's still hanging on in, like, pretty early red right now, so a little bit more range on this stock, potentially. That might do it. No, it's still a little bit going, and Keith's still hanging on to that lance, which is so important here. The burst potential for this damage is huge. Look at this read. Nope.
Okay, blue team, nice center stage control at the moment. Immediately going to be switching up Keith with the sidelight just to be able to get Himwy off of him. Himwy still not able to land, able to take a lot of damage in the process, but that does not matter. That is Keith's first stock gone.
Ooh, and it looks like a trade right there on the right side. Let's see if the 1v1 could happen for Himwy on the gauntlets. Chase dodge is going to come through on the left side, but not too much after that, so we're back to quads here. Plum's on last stock, though, and so is Vortex.
Okay, Himwy just going to be looking to pick up that neutral right now. Keith is getting juggled a little bit. Spear is usually a pretty good counter if he lands. Himwy's second stock going to be gone off the top. And now Himwy and Vortex are sitting one stock apiece. They have a bit of a deficit, but right now, if you're a blue team, you want to find a way to be able to pin down Plum.
Yeah, and it looks like Himwy's going to do that. Vortex was doing a great job just playing perimeter to keep Keith out. They're still doing it, right? Like, you can double up and focus onto Plum here. Why not get the KO onto Keith in the meantime, too? Weapon toss isn't going to connect, but it's off stage for Plum. No resources left. Keith's got to play defense now.
That's right, but in the meantime, Plum gets knocked off stage in such a nasty position. Now, all of a sudden, the 2v1 is set up regardless of the damage differential. Keith does pick up the axe, though, and you know what? Given the amount of damage,
it's doable,
axe is just going to send you so far away. That's one Olgrim sider, and now the game has all of a sudden completely shifted in pace. Himwy up against Keith. This is a matchup that we have seen over and over again.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I was going to point out, I mean, both blue team members were holding the gauntlet, so DI was online there, but it didn't even matter with the Olgrim being able to pick up that KO off the side there. This 1v1 is honestly looking Keith favored right now, if you ask me, especially when you switch to the lance right here. Let's see.
And we picking up the cannon now. Okay, going to be whipping that side, but no whip punish from Keith. That just ends up opting to go for the neutral. The ground
no weapon, no
is
weapon.
going to be enough. Yep, that's going to be it. There's no ability to weapon toss. Keith is not going to go out there that deep. Keith and Plum will be taking game one.
Yeah, crazy good upset, or not upset, excuse me, comeback from the side of red, right? I mean, just being able to stay poised, knowing that you have that kind of agency with the axe on your side and that Olgrim, really good stuff.
That's right, so that was game one. We're going to be going into game two. What did I notice? I mean, yeah, the thing that I talked about before, which is if it is a 2v1 setting, or you have a 2v2 setting, you really want to be able to make it into a 2v1. There is no stock sharing in Brawlhalla 2s. Get him out of there, get him off the screen, and you can make something happen. At the moment, though, Vortex just patrolling the stage, looking for a way to stop Keith from getting back on, and now Keith is struggling to land.
The axe player struggling to land is an interesting fallacy right there, but let's see. Side air will come through. Keith finally does find some ground to touch upon, so bouncing around, trying to find that first opening, looking to cover for Plum, but not going to get too much after that.
It's a pretty even game so far. I feel like it's pretty even set. I'm not really seeing any of the teams really come out that strongly on top of each other. Amazing punish on the Wushang Ensign. Nobody has seen that. And now the weapon toss just to be able to solidify it. Blue team with a pretty massive lead.
Yeah, covering all their bases. They said, I took offense to that 2v1 that you were able to win there, Keith. But as we say it, Himwy will take that stock off the top there. First one to fall. Vortex still hanging on to there first.
Landing with the side A, Keith just immediately target switching back onto Himwy here. Vortex with an end light, Himwy with an end light as well. The Blue Shock desync comes out, whipping that end sync. That's gonna be everybody is just counter hitting each other.
Oh my gosh,
nobody pressed a button that went unpunished for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, these 4-player scrambles are crazy, Dara. I don't know how to feel about them. I feel like they're advantage red almost.
That's right, it's all folded up in layers. Everybody was getting punished for everything. The game is basically even, aside from the fact that Vortex is stock tanking, and as soon as I said that, Plum just taking Himwy off the top.
Yeah, Himwy's really got to hang on now. Again, like you said, no stock sharing in Brawlhalla 2s, right? So if Himwy falls right here with this last KO, they're just gone until game 3. So a lot of onus now. And if I'm red team, I am staring directly down at this player sitting on the stage right here. But Vortex is looking like the target of choice. Will just fall. No resources to wall jump right there. So it's last stock for both members of blue and red as well.
Yeah, that's right. That sidelight recovery, I mean, he immediately noticed that the dodge was gone. If you don't have a dodge, well, sidelight recovery is just going to be a follow-up that you have to eat, unless your opponent messes it up. So right now, once again, the stock count is basically even.
Oh, no.
And then Keith, not able to make it back onto the stage, didn't end up sliding up against the diagonal lip of the stage. Got stuck under it. Vortex on the right side, able to clean up Plum, and that's going to be Vortex and Himwy taking game 2.
Close set so far. I mean, it's hard to say what could have happened if Keith was able to hang on to that last stock. But, I mean, all that being said, blue team struck back with a vengeance.
That's right. So, what are the couple things that I noticed? I believe it was the N6 from Plum that I felt like were consistently not really connecting. Quite a few of them ended up getting whiff punished. That was another thing that I noticed. Keith, you know, of course, really unfortunate, getting stuck onto the stage, getting pineappled. And so we're going into game 3. We're not going to be seeing any stage switch offs. We're not going to be seeing any character changes at all. Just back to the same old.
Yeah, and I think a big thing for me, and I want to hear your thoughts on this as well once this game is complete, but I really haven't been seeing the cannon make too much of an impact in this game so far, right? I mean, so much of cannon's explosive potential is you get one chase dodge, one read correct, and you can find a stock just off of the side very, very easily with this weapon. We're really not seeing too much of that so far.
I agree. As soon as you have like cannon on hand, there's always like that risk that, hey, you could get carried off of the side. And you're seeing that happen right now. Sidelight able to catch the cross up with the pivot down, and that was an excellent follow-up from Himwy. But still, Keith was able to make it back on to the stage. Himwy now stuck off stage. The grab pound from Plum doesn't connect. Himwy has a second reset life.
Okay. That's a KO off the top right here to keep the stocks at equilibrium, but that's a bit of a miscommunication right there from red side. Keith will fall early. Okay, Vortex looking for a way to land using the weapon toss, comboing into the down air as well. You whip that side air, and that's going to be the follow-up. I believe that was a D-light into the recovery. Whatever Keith did to actually start off that follow-up, he was able to go ahead and get that stock. Red team once again at a deficit. That's going to be the ground pound from Himwy, able to go ahead and clean that up and solidifying the lead that blue team has. Absolutely, yeah. A little bit of crosswires right there, looking for the alley-oop from Vortex and Himwy right there, but we will return back to neutral for just a moment. Again, all eyes on Plum right now. The last stock going into yellow. Just keep racking on this damage if you can, or like they did in the first game, play keep away so Keith can't just come there and play defense to protect his teammate.
Oh, Plum gonna be stuck off stage, but really wanting to go for that ground pound. Was that a little bit too greedy? Only eating a sidelight, so honestly, not at all is the answer. Plum, okay, kind of piecing up Vortex there for a second.
Yeah, looks for the ground pound right there, but recovery will be the counter hit that they're looking for. Himwy deep red, not going to get KO'd just yet, though. If they can get one on Plum, that's huge, but this is an enormous window to make this a one-stock lead for red. There it is.
And there it is. That's right. That's going to be the ground pound. Keith going to be losing his second stock. Plum, live. Plum, you have to survive. Plum, you gotta find a way to be able to make it back on. And yeah, that spear ground pound, which is, they can only really use it at a certain distance. All you have to do is stall as long as possible, be patient, and then you either want to go through the center of it with a hitbox, or you just go up and around it. So Plum did everything that he needed to do to get back onto the stage. Sidelight, good cover, not gonna work out. Using the side to reposition, and Plum still somehow makes it back safely.
Yeah, this is so scary. That's gotta be stock, right? You have enough time right here where you can just target swap onto Keith, but Plum is in such a rough position right now, going for all of it. Look at the weight!
Siding off stage! Is it a weapon toss? That is going to be Vortex's stock. Vortex's stock gone a little bit sooner than anticipated. Comboing into the GC side sig. That was amazing. Looking for the recovery. Doesn't find it. The sidelight, D-light, Sider does connect, and Keith cleaning it up with the recovery.
Wow, look at that. And you had said, I mean, Himwy and Vortex were a team to look out for, but I mean, Keith and Plum, of course, no slouches either. That weight from Plum into the weapon toss there to find that last stock and really swing the tides of momentum into Red Team's favor was insane. What a comeback there from Red Team.
That is just wooshug sometimes, which is you get hit with that signature and you're like, oh, I went perfectly down and diagonal. You can do the weapon toss, but if I dodge through it, that's like my most important recovery tool in that position. Kind of gone.
What a convenient position for me. Yeah, I'm so blessed that I get to be in this spot.
It's chic failure, basically, except you have a projectile in your hand that you get to follow up with at exactly the same angle. So it really works out for the Wushug that way.
But yeah, just like that, Red Team is up a game right now. So this is set point for Grand Finals for Keith and LaPlum. Already looking like Vortex might find that KO off the top. Plum is hunting it down. Not going to get there just yet.
Okay, the little combo and into the follow-up as well. Himwy with the amazing cleanup. Vortex was able to start off that follow-up. And now this is the issue with high defense. It takes so long for you to get back onto the stage when you keep on surviving. Sometimes you just gotta go. You gotta pave the way for the new generation.
And that's what you had mentioned before the broadcast even started, Dara, right? Is like, do you just kind of concede a stock at a certain point because your teammate is just getting in too bad of a position in the 2v1? Keith is in deep red right now. Let's see what happens off of the next knockback. It might just be a stock outright, so you might just go and we don't even have to make that decision from here on out.
We got two separate 1v1s happening. Himwy edgeguarding Plum. Keith, did the most important thing in a 2 setting, which is going out to help your teammate. Plum's second stock is going to be gone. Keith's first stock is going to be gone. And once again, blue team has a good lead.
Yeah, and this is looking like the same cadence that we saw between games 1 and 2, right? Like, Red Team just seemed to kind of put something together towards the end of game 1, make that win happen. Blue Team really looked like they had a pretty sound lead going into game 2, and then the same thing repeated coming into game 3. So maybe we're fated for a game 5 here, Dara. I'm not too sure, but let's see what the stock comes through. Vortex will follow last.
Well, I gotta say, Keith is a sniper with the recovery, and I guess like sniper with like something the size of a cannonball, but still, Himwy every single time was just able to, Keith was able to get a lot of KOs off the top with that recovery, just able to follow up off of his teammate. Plum gonna be going off stage, gonna be looking for something fearsome. Himwy stuck off stage, amazing save onto Vortex. Vortex using the sider, using the weapon toss, and is actually able to land safely.
That's right. We saw Plum go for a ledge cancel off the left right there, trying to just make something happen. But, I mean, all that being said, we were saying blue team might be able to force the game 5. This is a pretty tall order for Himwy right here. You have to find one stock and make as much damage as possible happen during the respawn here.
The light sider gonna be looking for the GCD sig, not gonna be able to find it quite yet though. Dash jumping, looking for the neutral, a little bit of friendly fire. Himwy trying to gently dodge back onto the stage. Keith and Plum, they keep accidentally hitting each other, and if I'm blue team, if I'm Himwy, I have no issues with that.
Yeah, I see no complaints, no notes at all. Keep doing this. But this is rough, right? I mean, yeah, both weapons online right here, no DI possible for Himwy, so a single hit could just unlock the world.
Okay, just using the weapon toss as a little tool for later, just putting out a hitbox that can keep you nice and safe. Sidelight, dodging back, no punish from Keith, and Keith is going to be able to find the down sig to be able to go ahead and close out that stock and that game.
Yep, that is going to be Keith and LePlum advancing into grand finals here. But I mean, Himwy made them work for it for sure towards the end. I just don't think there was enough gas in the tank, right? Like there are still two relatively healthy stocks left on the side of Red.